What's the matter, Kakarot?
Good morning and welcome to another Sunday service with the Blurred Church of Anime. The Blurred Church of Anime. My name is Black Star. I'm your preacher, your teacher, your cult leader, whatever you want to call me, the messenger for today. And I promise I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it brief. It is Memorial Day weekend, so I feel like people are doing other things if you're going to listen to this. So I'm trying to see if I can keep this under 20 minutes. All right? All right. Time me. Let's go. So I hope you had a great week. I thought this week went pretty well for me. I thought this weekend was going to be super freaking slow, that I was just going to marathon the last season of My Hero Academia. And then life was like, no, you have things to do because you're going to be busy all of June. So I had like 3 rehearsals this weekend, which was crazy, including stuff planned for Memorial Day. So much for my sitting at home watching anime all day. Gonna have to find another time to do that because wasn't prepared. But that's not a bad thing. It is just a thing that has happened. I hope, though, that you had already had your week planned out last week and that you had a great week. If you did not have a good week, you know what we say around here? F last week. This incoming week, this last week of May will be better for you. We're claiming it. You gotta have it. You gotta have some good days, not just always terrible ones. I I have some thoughts about what I want to talk about. This is the last Sunday of our Mental Health May series. And I realized that's a lot of trauma and kids and stuff. And I was like, I want to make it more lighthearted. And then I started thinking about all the lighthearted animes that I watch when I'm feeling And y'all didn't give me a lot of good suggestions either. Like, okay, whatever. I'm not blaming y'all. But in the end, I was thinking about what does it mean to like stay calm when life is throwing you a bunch of stuff? And I came up with Mob Psycho 100. I don't know why. I don't. This might be for somebody out there, but Mob Psycho 100. If you haven't seen Mob Psycho 100, let me tell you a little bit about it. All right, so I pretty much got on it from anime. It's a manga, very well considered web manga series, but it is basically about this middle school boy named Mob. And Mob is you people say average, not super stand out, anything about him, just very like whatever. I think it was his real name. His real name was like Shigeo. Shigio's like Kakeyama, whatever. Anyway, everyone calls him Mob, this is his nickname. And he seems like a really flawed person. And then you find out, oh boy got like immense psychic power. Oh boy is one of the most powerful psychics in the world. So, um, this could be a lot for middle schoolers. So, in order to control his power, he constantly represses his emotions, keeps a very blank face, keep very like monotone, and has trouble expressing himself. So he goes to another psychic to kind of help him, as really smart kid would do. You see that you're having problems with your psychic powers, go to another psychic who could probably help you. So he's working as an assistant to this man named Reagan. The problem is Reagan is not a real psychic; he's a con man. But Reagan being a con man is probably the best person to be helping Mob, because boy does he drop some gems. He can read people pretty well, but he also uses Mob to like confront psychic issues that like, because it's psychic people call him for like issues and want him to do stuff or like get rid of ghosts or whatever, and he's like, oh, my sister don't do that. It's like Mob is like this wonderful thing to just drop into his lap. But yeah, so pretty much Mob is this kid trying to do everyday stuff, a little bit of comedy, tons of supernatural action in it. I'm gonna be honest, I got into Mob in a really weird way where I started in second season because I was like watching over someone's shoulder, kind of like one of my ex partners was watching Mob. It was second season was on, and they would turn it on, and I just like watch an episode. And a lot of the first episodes of second season, it's just day-to-day stuff. Mob like training for a marathon. Like it's just whatever. And I really loved it because like Mob seems so like earnest. He just this guy that wants to one day confess to his crush and not blow up the world. He joins like this bodybuilding club because he thinks it'll like it'll help him be more well-rounded person. It's really cute. And also that club is like the best. Like I don't know. The Body Improvement Club is probably the one of the best side characteristics like ever got. Like he to improve himself as a person, he joins the Body Improvement Club. Um, and there's just he's a little skinny kid with these like bodybuilding. It's so freaking wholesome. Okay, but of course, in any kind of these series, what makes it really popular isn't that like he gets to do all of these, just want to be a normal kid. There's all these things that keep coming through that pushing him to use his abilities. And he also knows that if he uses his abilities, it could cause really big trouble. Um, and so what they call Mob Psycho 100 is because he's trying really hard never to get to 100% of his abilities. 100% blow up the world kind of deal, you know? So why I'm talking about Mob today is I mean, I could have talked about Mob as like the essential crash out. Although I don't think Mob ever truly crashes out. I think Mob is pushed to have to use his powers to save people, to save things, to stop really bad things from happening. There's tons of other ESPers who are like doing these things, trying to take over the town, city, whatever, Japan, blah, blah, blah. Um, but what I do really like is that Mob is somebody who, when he's somebody who's constantly trying to not get pushed beyond his limit. He's someone who's taking just always regulating himself to the nth degree. Um, and it's really interesting because like Mob knows that he has like Mob is such a mature middle schooler where he knows, okay, I have these powers. It's really hard for me to keep these powers under control. I have to like keep I can't be a child in the way where I want to throw a tantrum or do all these things. It's very autistic coded where like he doesn't understand social cues. Um, he tends to look like he's very dull, but that's him again suppressing his emotions. And he really thinks his powers are unnecessary. So he doesn't want to use them in everyday life. He doesn't use them to, like make things easier. He's just trying to get through the world as regular of a human being as he possibly can. And the people who know about his powers, like Reagan and his brother, um, they are also like, "You're so cool. You do all this stuff." And Mob doesn't think his powers make him cool. Mob thinks I can just work on myself and be a cool, regular person, which is why he joins the Body Improvement Club. I honestly think Mob is such a great, like, role model character. Not just because he has strong, powerful, psychic abilities, but because the psychic abilities, even though it controls a lot of his life and the reason why he is who he is, he tries to not make that the standout piece of him, which I really love. I think people with a lot of special abilities, talents, or whatnot, sometimes that can become who you are when people see you or talk about you. Oh, you're the valedictorian, or you're that really like great piano player, or oh my gosh, you're so this, that, and the other. You're gonna go to the NFL one day. You're the top, sports player. Cool, that's something you do, something you work at, something that's really great about you, but it's not the whole of who you are. And when people make that the whole of who you are, it can cause so much damage to your own personal well-being, your even the way you see yourself. And I think Mob is such a strong character, not for the powers, but for him constantly feeling like, how can I do better or improve myself to be a better person to all the people who see me and don't know that I have powers. Like I don't want people to see my powers, but like, you're the best, you know? And he does. He comes in contact with a lot of people who end up having Esper powers. I definitely want to do another conversation with Mob and his brother, Ritsu. Ritsu is really interesting to me. And I think like their brother dynamic of like Ritsu seemed to be like the really more popular. although he's the younger brother, more popular of the two, and that he, on the outside, everybody thinks he's like this better character, but he has this inferiority complex against towards Mob, and Mob just wants to be a good big brother. It's a really interesting dynamic as someone who has like one of those older. I have an older sister who I used to, as a kid, wanted to beat her at something. She was like more intelligent, always got like all the praise, doing all these things, and I was just like, look at me. And now that I'm older, I understand that there's a lot of things that went back and forth between that. So I think I'm gonna do like a separate message on just both Ritsu and Mob and that relationship. But there's so many people I think at the school in his life, and even people who kind of know his powers, who see Mob as like this really, really great person. And then the stuff comes, people push him to the limits. And then Mob has to use his powers. Again, we're trying to not get to 100% because the world could blow up. Um, and that doesn't, and then most times he doesn't have to use 100% of his powers. But this is criminal organization called Claw that is gathering Esper, showing his second power. He's doing all types of stuff. And they seem to be the main antagonists. And they initially, really do push Mob to a point where it's very dangerous. And one thing I do love about Mob is even after he's saved the town, saved the person, saved whatever, and he's used, a significant piece of his power, he never gets this like, well, I'm the big bag now, or he never becomes like the Superman where I'm the savior of everybody. He's just like, okay, I do need to be done. Can we get back to normal, please? Can we forget that I ever had powers? Can we get back to me? Just, again, training to run this marathon so I can confess to my crush. It's just so freaking awesome. And what does that mean for us? Because again, I said I wasn't going to make this long-winded, and I'm already at my halfway mark. What this means for us is, I think again, I think we all have talents. I don't think anybody is a waste of space. I don't think anybody is here just randomly. I think we all have purposes. I also believe that people should find their purpose, find what they're good at, find their special talents, but don't make that the only thing that's interesting about you. Like that can't be it. Your purpose, like if you're an NFL player, being an NFL player cannot be the only thing that is worthy about you or that you let people think is like the most important thing about you. I think about Shaq. Like Shaq as an NBA player has done a million things, and even after you know um, retiring from basketball, sure, he becomes like a commenter because that's what they do for big sports legends and figures, whatever. But he's also a DJ. This man has like 3 degrees. He just got another degree earlier this month. Like he's doing all these things for people to be like, okay, yeah, you may know Shaq as the basketball player, but there's also so many more levels to him. And that's not just him being a sports person for like pizzas or cars or whatever, but it's like these are things like him is DJ Diesel. And I love that he has like a separate name for it. I was very skeptical until I went to a set and I was like, nah, this bruh good. Like he knows what he's doing. There's like another talent around him. It's something he's always been interested in. And I appreciate someone not letting the world decide that this is the one box they stay in, that they created all these other pathways and all these other things for themselves. We don't have to be as famous as a sports star or a movie star or a pop star or whatever. There are so many more multitudes to us, and there are so many ways that we can be like, okay, that's one part of me, the psychic powers, whatever, but there's so much many more things I can be improving myself on and being better. And I think mentally and our mental health in our day to day, that's helpful. Because what happens when those things get taken away from us? What happens to the athlete that can no longer play or perform or gets cut off from a level because of a major injury? What happens to an artist when, they're no longer able to do their art? What happens to the person in school who was told they were gifted and so smart, and then they fail for the first time academically and they lose their ever loving stuff, And we know there is so much more to us than the one thing that people have placed on us or told us is like the good thing that we can do. I think it makes us more resilient and stronger. And also helps us keep our head from believing that we should take over everything. Because sometimes when you're really good at some stuff, you think you should take over everything. And that is not true. That's not how we do this. I think when you think about egos run unchecked, you get a lot of the leaders that we're having to deal with in a few countries out there. I'm gonna list mine, US. But not just there. A lot of other people are folk who for whatever reason, are like screaming for people to acknowledge them. And then once they get acknowledged, that ego gets ridiculous and they can't take any type of criticism. They can't take any type of correction. They don't have any other like hobbies to go do that over there. Like, ugh, just sit here and ruin our lives because they're so freaking insecure. And I'm not saying that insecurity is a terrible thing. I think we all have places where we're insecure. I mean, again, looking at Ritsu, my little brother, everyone thinks he's like prince of the school level type of kid. Good looking, really smart, seventh grade on the student council, all these things. They think Mob is gloomy. But here Ritsu has his like he's insecure when he getting compared to his brother because he doesn't have powers. Like this a whole that's a whole storyline, right? So you never know what people are going through. I think we all are insecure in some pieces. It's when those insecurity and you being told you're good at one thing becomes like the catalyst of your whole personality and your ego. And that is terrible. That's something you should not be doing, something we don't want you to do in the future. So be like mom. Have a self-improvement regimen. Join the body improvement club. Do something that's completely off or outside of your normal what people think you would do. And then you may see the results and really enjoy things. Again, I think the Body Improvement Club as side characters is like the most wholesome, best part of the show. I'm here for them. I'm here for every episode where they show up and they're just so good to Mob. I love how great they are to Mob. It's great writing. By the way, if you haven't seen Mob Psycho 100, it's 3 seasons. The third season is supposed to be the last season, but there's been floats about a fourth season. I don't know. I'm not super deep into the fandom. I do think it's an amazing show. You should totally watch it. I still think second season is the best because that's the season I came in on and maybe like go back to watch first season. Normally, I never start an anime not in order, like because you're losing out on all the backstory. But I just get watching this over somebody's shoulder. I was like, why is it that? What is that? What is happening? Oh no, not this character. Like I got really invested. So that's the storyline is so cool. You can get invested if you haven't seen it from the beginning. Next month we'll start as June and it will start our prize series and I have a few animes I'm thinking about doing, but y'all can also tell me what your gayest animes. Go ahead, put them on there. Not just for me to talk about so I can watch them. I'm into it. And I will hope you have a great week. I hope you have a great Memorial Day. I hope you're able to get rest. I know every job is an offensive fact. Some people is more of an issue for like holidays because you have to be on, but for those who are able to take off or able to have a little space or even travel with family despite these gas prices, I hope you have an amazing Memorial Day and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye. The Blurred Church of Anime podcast is produced by Black Star, aka Lauren Tillman, written by Lauren Tillman, and hosted by Lauren Tillman. Music created by EL47.